We're live?
Yes.
Good evening, Emergers. How you do? Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of the second month, 2022. Isn't that amazing?
That's it's an auspicious day.
Yeah.
Auspicious day. According to my nephew, he's like, all of the numerology people and everybody, like, they're like going out of their
minds. Of course. I'm sure there are lots of events happening, and then there's a something moon happening as well.
There's some kind of moon business.
There are things happening. Because 02022022.
And it's like 22222 is a lot of twos. But you know what? With all of that, we actually made it to the 2nd of February 2022. We are here. We are well. We are live. Janice Garrell, I see you joining. Welcome, Michelle.
Michelle here, bright and early.
Andre
Reed. I said the thing up.
Because we're right there, because we have big guests tonight. I mean, people, on the 2nd of February 2022, so we can't go soft. We have to go hard tonight. And tonight, so you have a few minutes while we introduce ourselves to call your friends, your family members from near and far. All of them there in England, wake them up, and say, got to get up for this, because tonight is exceptional. We have a personality on tonight. Call up a friend then. Call everybody where you know. Anyway, want to introduce yourself. You, in the pink. What's your name?
So before I even do that, I don't know if anybody here caught. So there's a company here in Jamaica called MDS Limited, and they recently had this amazing event for people within the pharmacy or pharmaceutical industry. And our own Rochelle, Adrenaline Rush, was a guest speaker talking about legacy. Guys, I mean, I see Rochelle all the time, but honestly, tears came to my eyes in this particular one. She was so amazing. And one of the things she spoke about was just that we have to suck up like every single thing out of life. And she referenced like having like curry goat or curry chicken, and you have all the gravy left in the plate, and you have to get the white hard-dough bread, not the wheat hard-dough bread, but the white hard-dough bread, and stuff it up in the plate and get every little bit out of life, because guys, life is short. Things are happening. As Rochelle said, we're at February 2, 2022, and a lot of people are not. So we have a lot to be grateful for. We're so grateful for this Emerge community. As Rochelle said, we have an amazing show in store. I'm seeing people logging in now. Hi, guys. So as usual, we don't want to assume, I mean, we think you all know who we are, but we don't want to assume that you know who we are, right? So my name is Naomi Garrick. I'm also known as the PR chick. I am the CEO and founder of Garrick Communications, a boutique PR agency here in Kingston, Jamaica. I'm also a personal branding coach, and essentially I just help to build better brands. I'm also a very proud member of the Emerge Trio, because we don't say trio here, it's the trio.
Hi, everybody. I am Kathy Goodall. I am a leadership and growth coach. I am also a marketing strategist, and I am super excited about tonight. I think we started the show early backstage.
Yeah, we did, actually. Actually, the show kind of started from even my conversation with Alysia earlier today. I was just like, oh, but this is stuff we could be using in the show.
Oh, Brandon says 2222 is harmony and serenity.
Yes, and there was also a new moon yesterday. So this is just like an amazing time to be here, guys.
And we have the ideal guests with the most positive energy.
Yeah.
Let me introduce myself.
Yes.
Right.
Introduce myself. My name is Rushy. I'm from Lucky Hill. I live in Jamaica. Sometimes I'm a lawyer. I can be anything that you want me to be, but tonight I'm a rapper.
And now is a hype. Now is a hype man.
I am the hype woman.
You know,
I gave a little kind of intro before, So yes, I am your hype woman tonight, Rochelle.
So one of the things I just want to share as we welcome our guest, I've had just a rough last 2 weeks, and I don't allow myself enough of an opportunity to sometimes feel my feels. Sometimes I have so much stuff going on. I have to like parcel out a day that today I'm gonna have a good cry and I'm gonna work on some stuff. Yesterday, Renee Rattree posted something, but she actually had sent me a message before. And she said, sometimes we forget to check in on the strong ones. And I just broke down because I needed a check-in. And then Naomi calls me yesterday just to hype me up and tell me that she loved me. And I mean, if you ever know that it just broke down just a lot of stuff that I'd just been building up, I file things away to deal with next week because I'm like, I can't handle this right now. And I encourage, as we celebrate New Year's, new times, new second of the second, let's remember that when somebody runs across your mind, check on them. Check on the strong ones. In fact, check on the strong ones a lot. Because sometimes they just need an acknowledgement that somebody's thinking about them to just kind of break down all of these things that we're building up. So I just think we have a great opportunity to love each other differently and take care of ourselves and each other differently. And let's use every day for it. And, as I'm looking at the chat here, may I say to myself, everybody depend this, but them supposed to there tonight. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was speaking at an event. And when I got there was this beautiful, beautiful woman who I'd seen on television. And she was speaking ahead of me. But she's like, her skin was just so flawless. And she, when I came, she was speaking to someone. And when I came up behind her, she turned around and she's like, "Hi, darling." And I was like, she's just so fabulous. It's amazing. And so it's Alysia Moulton-White. So she's speaking ahead of me. I get so nervous when I'm speaking. And when this woman finished speaking, first thing, everybody was just eating out of her hands. I was bawling. Remember, I'm speaking after and I'm bawling. When she comes back down, she's like, "Over to you, Rush." This is me ugly bawling. "Over to you, Rush." But ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about the quintessential powerhouse, a package of a person who is wife, mother, executive, friend, mentor, and someone who all of us at some point have looked up to something that she's doing. She approaches everything with energy, with her whole self, that she has a vibe about her that makes you think that you've known her all your life. And if you stand back and watch her in any environment, it's the same person who turns up all the time. Yes. She is a vice president of marketing at one of our largest organizations in the Caribbean, Sagicor Group. And she started out, in fact, she was at CVM television, but she's one of those people that had a vision of where she's going. So while she's there, she's already in preparatory mode and training herself for where she's going. So she's involved in events, she's involved in marketing. She's getting herself a part of so many different things to utilize the skills that she has and to build upon them. But this is a girl, who was down in Westmoreland and run up and down because her father was an engineer on the sugar plantation. She did migrate to Canada, and we have to find out from her where the Canadian accent comes in. And so, because, when you go to Canada, when you're 8, you must have an accent. She comes back to Jamaica and goes to Meadowbrook High. So even the blend of her upbringing and her parents and the learnings and understanding their humble beginnings have fed into this powerhouse of a woman who at the end of the day teaches us about faith, about audacious hope, about building up, dusting off, turning up every single solitary time, about inspiring others to be bigger and greater than themselves. And she does all of this while being a pastor, while being wife, amazing wife to the great Odile. And when the two of them 1 minute are preaching and the next time you see them are dancing up, dance. Go dance. You want to dance. They have been through a journey of parenting that we will hear about tonight. But at the end of the day, she's mother to 3 beautiful young princesses. Beautiful Amarise, Nyla, Eden. This woman is Alysia Moulton-White. She is one of the Jamaican women that exemplify greatness. She gives us a live person to look up to and to learn from. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're there, turn up on your foot, clap up your hand, Dutch pat in at the place. Alysia Moulton-White.
Where did you find all of that stuff, Rush? Is when you went to run up and down in Westworld, and I was like, what? People don't know that. Oh wow. Hi guys.
Hi, Alysia.
Hi, Ellie.
Naomi, I should have cut this something. I'm gonna cut it.
No.
No,
It's still sticking
I'm
out.
sorry. I'm
You
sorry.
cannot
I'm
put
sorry.
it right now,
watching.
Alysia.
Norma,
Alysia,
forgive me.
Sorry, Norma.
Tell Norma to cover her eyes.
Yeah, she's gonna kill me. She's gonna say, "Why didn't you call me?" I'm gonna make sure, but it's gonna be fine. I promise. Okay, here we go. Yes,
Alysia, we are so excited to have you on the show. You know, we've been trying to wait on this COVID thing to be over to get you on the live emerge stage, but that's still gonna come, guys, because we know that COVID won't be forever, right? But in the meantime, we'll just do this as a prelude to the big show. So we are really, really excited to have you. And you know, one of the first questions, well, guys, just so that you know, Alysia and I used to sit down on the bench at Submerge. I don't even think Submerge exists at UA anymore. We were one of the few that would be there bright and early, like before 7 o'clock, and have like grilled cheese sandwich under the bench at Submerge in the mornings at UA. Yeah.
those were the good days. Those were the days that got us through.
Yeah.
Those were the days that got us through. Renee, big up yourself anyway, the baby.
But Alysia, but the thing is, so I know you through UA days, right? But a lot of people know you or saw you through the lens of the camera on TV at CVM. So when they see you now, even in this role at Sagicor, it's like they feel like they already know you. Like, I know her. Like, that's my friend. So what people don't know, the journey that led up to you being on TV, to where you are now as vice president. Hello. So I would love if you could kind of backtrack a little bit and just tell us about that journey to media, journey to Sagicor, and where you are today.
Sure. Thank you guys so much for having me. Listen, I've been nervous all day, and then something happened in the what you call it, the green room, and then I was completely okay. And so I'm so good now.
Magic happens in the green room, guys. Magic happens in the emerge room.
More to come. Anyway,
watch this space.
Watch this space. Anyway, so fun fact, my dream really always was to speak and to teach. And originally it was to be a lawyer. And I wanted to be a lawyer up until I saw the O.J. Simpson trial. And then it didn't appeal to me anymore. I was like, okay, so Matlock, Perry Mason, yes, I'm aging myself. I don't care. Law and Order, those things, I wanted to be those lawyers. The O.J. Simpson trial, I was like, this too boring. I can't bother with this. And then I went through a stage where I wasn't so sure what I wanted to do anymore. And my journey towards being in media and communication really was through church. So I've been involved in church my whole life. I am one of those girls who was forced to go to church, even when my parents were not going. I spent a lot of time in the country, in Westmoreland, in Greenhill. I cannot believe, Rochelle, on earth that. We don't really talk about them thing there. Anyway, I was in the country with my granny very often, and I went to church all the time. And I grew up that way. When I was,
I'm sorry, we had to pause for a cause, okay?
Yeah, I was listening
we
to her
had
and
to pause for a
I
cause.
saw that comment flash on the screen. I said, "Whoa, oh my, oh my."
I apologize. Continue.
thank you, honey. He told me to wear purple. It's my favorite color.
No man, you look real good.
So I grew up in church, and I migrated to Canada with my parents when I was 13 years old. No, 8. And I came back when I was 14 years old. And when I came back, I was a part of youth ministry all along. You know, my parents were really good. Trevor and Althea, big up yourself. I know you're watching. They instilled in me a very strong sense of, you are not alone in this world. And God is the reason you're here. I don't even know if they believed what they believe now then, but they grew up that way and they were fine, and they raised us all in that manner. And when I came back to Jamaica, I became a part of Church on the Rock at the youth ministry there. My mentor still today is Pastor Che Cowan. And he's mentored myself, my husband, several people that, anyway, big up yourself, Uncle Che. So one day I was involved. I was enough. I went to Meadowbrook High School when I came back from Canada, and I was enough. They used to call them, say, "Lad, you come in like salt. You're just enough." So when I was at Ika, salt is plenty in the earth, sure. So, but and that's what they used to call me. I was like extremely enough girl, and at church, no different. If you want a scripture read, if you want a recitation, if you want a drama piece, I was a dancer. Just call me. I'm there. I didn't always feel like being there, but we'll get into that. I'm sure in another minute or two. But I was reading something one Friday at youth ministry, and my pastor, Pastor Che, he said, "Have you ever thought about media and communication?" And I was finishing high school, and I did not know what I was going to university to do, because the law thing is done now. We now do that. Sorry, Rush, but it wasn't going to happen for me. I couldn't do it. I didn't know that there was lawyers like you then. There would be 2 adrenaline girls. However,
Yes.
I didn't know that then. So I said, And after that, I started to research all kinds of things about media and communication. And I applied to Carmack at the University of the West Indies. At the time, 50 people were admitted every year to Carmack. You see, when they called me after I did A-levels and whatnot, and they said I got in, because A-levels don't get you into Carmack at UA. You had to be one of the chosen few who did an extra test. Rest in peace, Agri Brown. But when they called me, I told my mother to call them, because clearly they had the wrong girl. You were somebody's tricking me. Scamming was nothing then, but I said, scamming me?
What's this scamming?
It wasn't. Who was scamming me? I didn't even know what that was. I said, mommy, they say I got in. Call them and see if it's real. And she said, oh my God, I'm elated. She did not doubt. She never does. And I got in, and I did 3 years at Carmack. Subsequent to that, my parents pushed me out of the house. Pushed me. No, I'm going ahead of the story. In my final year at Carmack, I did what's called our final year piece. And it was a competition between the television students at the time. And you had to be, we were in streams. There were about 10 people in TV, 10 people in PR, 10 people in print. I chose TV, and we had to do a TV production, a commercial. And my commercial won, and I did an interview at CVM TV about that was my prize, to do an interview on TV. And when I did the interview on TV, the production manager at the time, Keith Campbell, who I still consider my first dad in media, he called and offered me a job.
Wow.
So I started in my final year of university at CVM TV. Guys, I know you say wow, but I want to tell you, I was awful. Like, when they gave me that job, producing TV commercial and going on national TV, hosting the morning show. There is not a single person at CVM TV right now who I don't rate and respect, even though many of them were chatting me behind my back and saying, God, this girl is awful. I really was terrible. I really was terrible. They put me on TV. They thought I had the look. I could read news if I put my mind to it. I could be a journalist. It was terrible. I mean, I remember calling Michael Price, God rest his soul, Michael Sharp, God rest his soul, on CVM TV, and Michael Sharp was on TVJ. And I said, Jesus, no, them fire me. See, they know, me dead. But I mean, I was terrible, but I grew into that role. I have some friends who are probably watching right now. When I was on the morning show, I had gone away to school. I was a TV presenter, producer, and I went away to do my master's in London, England, in international communications and development. Came back, and CVM still accepted me. I don't know why, but they still accepted me back, and I was still the host of the morning show. And when I tell you, I had some friends. I remember their faces, Maya Chung, and Maya Chung and I used to do our makeup together in the bathroom. The way we are now in TV, where everybody has a MUA and you just arrive and do your makeup. Those were not we had real struggles. Okay. So we did our makeup ourselves. We sat on the set. Maya schooled me. Stacey Ann Smith, she schooled me. A lot of people, they really poured into my life, Ingrid Card, one of my former bosses, they poured into my life a lot and made me feel like I could do this thing. I could do this. There were days, though, my friends had to call me while I'm holed up because, if you reach a Jamaican audience, you've arrived. Yeah. I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people called me and gave me disparaging remarks. They told me I was terrible. Did you fall out of your bed in those clothes this morning? You really didn't do that interview properly. It was a lot. It was 9 years. I round about 4 years before I felt like I was, okay, maybe I can do this. But it was a long period as a young woman in my early 20s where I constantly woke up feeling like, Lord Jesus, here we go again. One more day of failure at this thing. And then I shared this too, that I'm a morning show host, not a journalist, technically. So people didn't necessarily think of me as a journalist per se. And they're getting lifestyle stories, and lifestyle in Jamaica. If you're not covering something that where there's a triple murder, sometimes you are not feeling like you matter in the news space. So I tasted ice cream, I muggled clothes, I interviewed people about their various things, and very rarely, like the time the plane did crash, like the time Portia Simpson Miller and Peter Phillips were clashing for PNP head, I got a chance to interview the two of them. Very rarely. Mm-hmm. But I did do some, I did interview the Prime Minister. No, Prime Minister, I don't think he remembers. I think I should tell him. When he was Minister of Education, I did the interview Vibes Cartel, all kind of things I did do. But I wasn't a journalist necessarily. I at the time, you guys should stop me whenever you want me to stop.
No, we are. We're here.
There was, I got pregnant. Actually, funny enough, I got pregnant the first time I got pregnant, and miscarried. I was at CVM TV. I showed up at an event, and outside of TV, I was already, maybe D-list celebrity, but people knew who I was. So I came to this event.
Alysia, you said D-list, D like the letter D-list?
I'm not affected with false humility. I really was not a major celebrity in Jamaica. I really wasn't. I'm not. No, seriously. I was not. People knew who I was for sure, but I wasn't Carlin Brown at the time. I wasn't one of those girls. So I was the morning show host. And although I was there every morning and people knew who I was, but when I showed up at this event, it was a baby shower. I'll never forget. And I didn't have a baby bump. I had a big belly. I was like 2 months pregnant. You can't really tell, but I've had a big belly, kind of like a big belly my whole life. And in the newspaper, I think it was about 3 days after, in the newspaper, there was a photo with me and a caption, Alysia Moulton-White showing off her baby bump. I was like, oh crap. Because at the time, only my parents and my husband, obviously, and a few friends knew. I was like, ugh. That day, I had to do an ultrasound. That day, I had to do an ultrasound. And that's the day we discovered that our baby didn't have a heartbeat. So everybody was calling me, congratulating me that day. And I said, thank you for the entire day. The entire day. But I knew that in a week, I would be doing a DNC to remove this baby because she died, or he died. My precious firstborn. Her name is Destiny. Yeah, we named him or her, and I'm not ashamed.
No.
But yeah, we went through a lot, and the time came. I was pregnant with the very fierce and fabulous Amaris, my first live birth child. She's now 11. And she is a powerhouse. And while I was pregnant at CVM TV, long story, which we're not going to go through, I decided to leave. It was not necessarily the best separation for me. I love CVM TV. I love my bosses who were there at the time. I still love my colleagues a lot, and I'll never forget what they taught me. I did not want to leave at the time. I was not fired. I decided to leave. And then I went to work at my church. No, you think working at your church, planning events, what are you doing? But it was while I was at CVM TV, I remembered the marketing bug bit me. My Ingrid Card. She's now the head of marketing across Sagicor Financial Corporation. She was the assistant manager of marketing, and I would harass her at CVM. Beg you, let me plan an event, not just anything. Not, you know what? You have nothing. You know what? I don't understand. And she eventually let me do some stuff. And from that volunteerism, when she moved to the Observer, she called me and asked me to help her plan for 1 month the Food Awards and the Jamaica Observer Business Leader Award. Where I met the phenomenal Novia McDonald-White. Now, let me tell you.
Happy belated, Novia.
Yeah, girl. Hot girl. Happy belated. And my friend Andre Reed will tell you, he was working at the Observer at the time as well. I was petrified of Novia. I was constantly under the microscope with my boss, Ingrid, because she would accept nothing but excellence. She was good at bringing out the excellence in me, but then Novia was good at bringing out the excellence in her event. And that space, that month, 1 month, just 1 month. That 1 month completely transformed the way I looked at events, marketing, everything. Yeah. I sat there and I watched that Observer team stay till 1 o'clock in the morning, many days, doing food awards, business leader, 2 events, just a sit down, just a sleep, a work. So it transformed me completely. And so I really felt maybe I could do this. I had a degree in communication. I had a degree in mass communications, in media and television. I was a communicator, and I thought, maybe I can do marketing. So when I was at home, I was working for my church. My husband was working in the financial services sector. I started to send out my resume with nothing named marketing on it. And a job came up at Sagicor where it was the assistant manager, sponsorships and events, and I applied for it. And I went through 2 interviews and I got the job. I remember my mother saying to me, this is no joke. No, this is not corporate. This is not media. This is corporate. And this is where this is now job. Like the jobs were jobs before, but this is different. This is a major financial conglomerate in the Caribbean. And you have to make sure that you show up from day one. I put on a black suit, won't forget it. And I went into the boardroom for my first group marketing team meeting. And there was maybe about 10 people in the room. We've now expanded to about 25 people. But there's maybe about 10 people in the room, and I was petrified. The vice president was working remote. The marketing manager, Ingrid, actually, was, because she had transitioned to Sagicor, was in the boardroom. Everybody was in there. We were Pan-Caribbean and Sagicor at the time. And I thought, mighty God of Daniel, I'm completely out of my depth.
Yeah.
I've never, financial services, Alysia, what are you doing here? What are you doing? What are you doing? It was not an easy road, but it has been a very rewarding experience. I have met some people here. I'm actually at Sagicor right now in my office. And I've met some people here, because, you know, me never want to do the Wi-Fi at home, because, you know, for the merch, you understand? We needed to have the blue card plug into the computer for tonight. Okay, so it's been a rewarding experience. I've learned quite a bit here, and I've grown in. I was promoted to manager. Then when my former boss left, I thought, okay, I'm dead now, because I can't do it without her. There's no way I can do it without her. And I have the most amazing team. So it's been this year is my 12th year, I believe, at Sagicor. And I have been assistant manager, marketing manager, assistant vice president, and now vice president of Sagicor Group Jamaica, which extends to the Cayman Islands. I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish. I've been the vice president, head of marketing for 3 years now. I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish. I'm proud of the culture that we've developed here. I'm proud of what we have done. And I'm proud of the fact that we're so well recognized, even though technically we're not the number one financial services company in the country. But meh. Semantics.
Semantics.
Semantics. Yes. But I've learned a lot.
We are very happy that you are our partner.
Yes.
So we are very grateful to Sagicor for being our partner. And we thought
we're very proud of that, actually. Because when I started at Sagicor 12 years ago, I was here for 3 weeks, and my friend Marcia Richards, she was the head of the Sagicor motivational seminar.
Yes.
She called me on the phone and she gave me a lecture about the company that I'm now employed to. And I'm saying, who is this crazy person? Why is she calling me about this? Is what? And she said, we want you to be the MC, the voice of God, for our motivational seminar in 3 weeks at Iberia Star Hotel. Me say, backside, wait, mommy, look, I arrive, I reach, I have occurred. Yeah, you. And she said, you have to pay for your husband and your daughter, Amaris, at the time she was 6 months old. But we'll pay for you, but you're going to have to work. You're going to work. We know you've come from TV, but this is a different. She made it sound like where I come from. She's like, listen, forget it. You're now at Sagicor, according to Bounty Killer. Sagicor. And this is a different kettle of fish altogether. So that was my first experience with a company that spent money on team members. And I want Les Brown, Susan Taylor. Those are the people who they brought in to motivate just staff. I said, no, sir, something, no. This no make no sense to me. And that has been my experience. So here at Sagicor, and this is not a plug at all, although you should work at Sagicor, but this is not a plug at all, but I felt like, wow, for a company to want to get the best out of their team members like this is phenomenal to me. I'd never heard of it before. I'm sure it happens overseas. And then I thought, no, I'm at home. And this is something that continued. It continued throughout my tenure here. It has continued. I have been responsible for many productions, but it's the ethos. It's just who we are as a company, you know, and I feel like I'm at home.
So, sorry, Alysia, in our pre-emerge conversation earlier, this is something that we spoke about. And I was just saying to her that one of the things I really admire about Sagicor is that they put the same energy that they put in events and activations for their external customers, for their internal customers. Like, it's like you see their stuff and you're like, I want to work at Sagicor. Like, I want to go to SMS. Like, I want to see Steve Harvey. I want to see the competition. I don't know if you guys caught that competition with the showdown with Chauvel and
Clash, big Clash.
Oh my God! Let me tell you,
big Clash.
So I
that was my team's fault.
Right?
That was my team's fault. They made me do it, and I did everything they told me to.
Oh, I see. They used everything
they made me do it.
You executed well.
But it's just to say that it just shows, as he said, the ethos, right, of the company. That it's not just about selling a product, selling a service, selling life insurance, having banking services and whatever. It's also about the people that make this happen. And I just love that you guys give that same energy, maybe even more, for your team.
Well, the truth is that, and I will. This has nothing to do. I would say we publicize it, yes, as a marketing team, but our HR team or group HR team at Sagicor, their mantra, their culture, our culture is people first. It's something that was launched last year. It's people first. And that has a lot to do with who we are as a company. And it is something that we live, breathe, and eat. And no joke. It is people first or community. We are huge on community involvement here. As a matter of fact, one of the first things I learned at Sagicor is don't ramp with insurance agents and their community involvement. They'll be upset. They'll be upset. It's one of the first things I learned here. And also, people includes your team. People includes your community. People includes your clients. And it is, we don't get it right all the time, obviously, but it's something that we hire and fire for. Put the people first or else you can't work here. And so it's a lifestyle that we have developed, and it's something that we're very, very proud of, very, very proud of. And we hope to continue it, because no matter what the digital landscape ends up being, people are still having sex. They're still making babies. People are still being born every day.
People are still peopling.
People are still people first. People. Yeah.
So, Ali, you shared with us a little bit about your journey through your pregnancy and your miscarriages and your beautiful daughters that you have now. You've used your platform to showcase your faith, hope, just the goodness of God. Odine made a comment earlier about struggles. How have those challenges helped to mold you into who you are?
Well, let me talk about marriage first. I encourage everyone who wants to get married to recognize that marriage have teeth and it will bite you. You have to be prepared to go the journey with your husband or your wife. Should you take that journey? Should you decide to go that way? It is a journey that you have to go through with your husband and your wife. And the journey may not be roses every single time. There were times when my husband and I struggled financially. I shared this with my team members at Sagicor, one of our team engagement activities. I was telling people that we were at a restaurant one day and the cheapest thing on the menu was $1,000. And we went to, it was like a birthday party. And my husband and I were like, boy, Sticky, we just don't have that $1,000 to spend on that little margarita pizza down at the place there, you know. We don't. Margarita pizza is cheese, bread. We don't have it.
Yeah.
We don't have it. And there are times when you will feel like you have failed, but we hold hands and we go to the car, we drive home with the little gas we have, and we're still in love with each other. And it was not always like that. There are times that we have fought. When JPS is coming, yes, to cut off your light, yes, you're going to have to light that candle and hug up as a couple. That's what is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
When the water is due and you forget, there are going to be struggles. When there are people who will want to speak negativity into your relationship, you are going to have to band together as a couple. Put your back against your husband's back or your back against your wife's back. And that's
fold up.
Fold up. Fold up. Same, so baby. Fold up. And you are fighting the darts that are coming your way. When you're fighting each other, everything can attack your back. If you're looking at your husband and just, old dog, you're terrible. You don't have no sense. You're coming like, yeah. Any kind of attack can come around you. But when you're back to back, strengthening each other, and you can fight what is coming at you, that's a whole different ball game. Yeah, then you've won. Then you can win that fight. You can win those fights. And I say marriage first because had Odine and I not established that we are in this together, we're fighting what comes against us, our miscarriage journey would be a divorce journey. I know so many people who have had miscarriages like I have. My first miscarriage, I thought something was wrong with me. I lay down in that bed after that child, they put me to sleep. They scraped my baby out of my womb. And then when I lay there and they brought that child to me in a jar, and the nurse said, it was really very dead, that product of conception, because they don't call it a baby at that time. When your mentality gets so that you are walking so dangerously close to losing your mind, and you lie down beside your husband and you just cry and you don't want to get up out of the bed. And my husband, I remember distinctly, everything was dark in my bedroom, and he said, get up. Get up. You're getting up today. You're not going to lie down. You're getting up today. He could have said, all right, babes, I hope you feel better later. I'm going to work here. And he could have let me stay that way for days, weeks. He told me to get up. He helped me to get up off my bed. I don't even know if you remember, honey, but he told me to get up off my bed. And that was the first of 3 miscarriages. The last one was a stillbirth. During my last loss, my husband stayed with me for 36 hours of labor while I pushed out a dead child. When you are in a relationship and you're in a marriage and you have so much invested in each other, remember, no matter if it's miscarriage, if it's bills, if it is other women or men in your relationship, if it is church that is coming against you, you have to recognize that you and this partner are in it together. I tell my single, married, divorced friends this all the time. And it's not like we have not struggled. Up to about 1 month ago, we were having a major struggle in our marriage. I mean, major is relative, I know, but major for us. A major struggle in our marriage. Well, we thought so. And we had to talk it through, get help, talk it through. I remember Odine told me one time, babe, let's go to counseling. I said, for what? What? What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. We're having a great time. He said, I know, honey, calm down. Anybody who knows my husband, he's just relax. I just want to check up. I was like, like a doctor checkup? And he said, yes, I just want a checkup. So I said, okay, you're weird, but okay. And that checkup revealed some things to us that we love to we still embody today. But I'm saying this to say that our marriage was one of the main sources of strength during our miscarriage journey. There are some women who are watching right now. You don't have no husband, you don't have no boyfriend, you just had a miscarriage. Your source of strength may be different from your husband, or maybe it may be your friend. Listen, this week when I heard the story of that Miss USA, former Miss USA, it shook me in I did not know how to process it, because I have been there. I may not have wanted to kill myself, but I know the thoughts that assail you. You must, absolutely must, talk these things through. You see, me now, people consider me, like you guys have been saying, powerhouse. What? I don't feel like that. I don't feel that way. That's not how I describe myself. When I tell people check on your strong friends, you really ought to check on me. Because my friends think I'm very strong all the time. But they harass me constantly. How you doing, babe? You all right? Let's eat some food. And if you are one of those people who you don't have a strong sense of community, you don't have a whole heap of friends, there's YouTube, there's Brené Brown, there's you guys can call some names. There are people who can. There are podcasts.
There's Emerge.
There is Emerge.
Yes.
There is Emerge that puts people on a path. Listen to it. There's your Bible too.
Yes.
There's all kinds. There's music.
Mm-hmm.
You have to feed when you are feeding yourself with negativity. Woe is me. Woe, I'm not good enough. How could I have miscarried 8 times? I remember the lady who told me, "Don't worry, I've done it. This has happened to me 8 times." I said, "Sorry." There are people who are like that. You're feeding yourself with all this negativity. You must feed yourself with something else. You have to assail and capture. My pastor would say, capture every thought. Hold it captive. Squeeze it by its neck with something else other than what you are telling yourself.
Yeah.
Well observed.
So Catherine and Rochelle are really the bally ones on this show, but where is your
You know, so Brandon, tell me about just ball and done, cats. Just ball and done.
this episode definitely?
Yeah. No, it's funny because I know the first time Alysia did this to me. So
Oh Lord.
supposed to know. But Alysia, I just want to just go into the point that you mentioned, the strong friends, the women who people see walk into a room, own a room, confident, appear to have it all together. And because of that too, they're kind of like, nothing couldn't really do you. I think Miss USA caused a lot of people to stop and say, yes, something can do you. As people see this woman, this seemingly, and I say seemingly confident woman, because I want you to talk about confidence and what drives your confidence, but also that you're human, what makes you terrified, what goes through your head every time you have to take up a mic or walk in that boardroom and face your team. What goes through your head and what is that really like?
So I do not pretend that they're naked in the boardroom. But let's talk about confidence for a bit, right? So there's fake confidence and there's confidence, right? So a lot of people will see many women, myself included, and I've learned to do my makeup well.
Did you do your own makeup tonight?
I did. I
It
did.
looks
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I was like, whoa, look how
Thank
Alysia get makeup artist emerge.
I did. I can only do my face though.
So you did the lashes too?
I did, girl.
That's that's one of my goals for this year. It was on my list last year too, but I still haven't achieved it yet. I need
You
to
make up
lashes.
I already feel like powder you don't like in the break.
No.
No, you look amazing.
No, I do it myself all the time. In fact, it's a running joke that I don't really let people touch my face. I think I've had about 3 makeup artists ever in my life do my face. I've watched, YouTube is the greatest thing. I learned the powder, the real techniques powder, not powder, the brush, what I'm using at the crease. Yes, sir. It has evolved over time, and over the last 6 or 7 months, I have learned to put on the strip lashes myself. So I buy my lash and I put it on, and it.
Alysia, I have about 6 packs in my makeup drawer.
No, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Try to get it as close to the edge, the eyelash, as possible.
It sounds like
friend.
I feel like I'm just hearing womp. I can't.
Yeah, I have a friend, Carissa. I have a friend, Carissa Zoe MUA. Carissa, just if you're watching, just drop your handle in the chat. Anyway, she taught me. She was doing a live one time, and I was like, oh my God, is that how you do it? And she taught me how to put on the lash. So I've been practicing, and I think I have it now. I think I have it. I think I have it. Yeah, I think I have it. And it has helped with my confidence. It has helped with my confidence. Like if I'm going into a stressful meeting, like I know it's not like I'm speaking it into being, but Rochelle, Naomi, Kathy, you've all had these meetings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might be testy. When I beat my face and I put on like a red, and like
a nice red lipstick.
Yeah, man. It might not even be a testy meeting, but it might just be a meeting with a lot of powerful players. I just want to make sure I feel, and I'm not putting on makeup for anybody else. You know, like people put on makeup for women, and I'm not putting it on for anybody else, but me want to know. So when me, like I have a mirror on my desk that my daddy bought me. Yeah, girl. And I just make sure I look into
it. Amazon to find desk mirror.
Yeah, man.
Right now.
Look into it before I especially now that everything is on Zoom or Microsoft Teams, and everybody can see up into your nose hole. Usually they're across from a large boardroom table, but now they can see up into your nose hole. I have to make sure. So that has helped me with my confidence. Some people, they don't need that. Some people, they just want to read over their notes 1,000 times. I have been blessed with the gift of communication. I speak well, and I embrace that now. Mm-hmm. There were days when, people have called me enough. I remember today I was telling a friend of mine that I did a show on YouTube where somebody put in the comments after the show had aired, this is me. I am the nuffest woman in Jamaica, and it's enough now. And I'm like, you think I can find that back so I can frame it and put it on my desk? That now, when I think of it, I just want to, especially in 2022, I want to be nuffer right now. Like I want to, there is so much that we all have to give. If you think, and it's a part of humility too, confidence and humility, they go hand in hand, You have to be confident in who you are as a woman of Christ. You have to be confident in the fact that you know what you're saying, you know what you're doing. And you also have to be humble enough to know that there are people who know more than you. Every single time I step into a boardroom, it helps me when I embrace humility, because some of the people in there know more than me. There is a lady at Sagicor, Shorville Johnson Cunningham. I've never done a presentation, ever done a presentation, because she knows she's been in this game a lot longer than me. I've never done a presentation in a boardroom where she's been and she has not called me to say excellent job or here's what you could have done differently. Those things help. You have to help. And Novia says it all the time. You have to send the elevator back down. You are not at the top of your game so that you can stay there, retire there, and then just live there. Yada dust. and then just bury. No, that's not why you're there. You're there to help somebody else. And that has helped me tremendously. I am confident because I know people are watching me and they require me to be confident so that they can feel differently. I'm also confident because I have an amazing team. Look, my team is the baddest team. I argue with yourself. The Sagicor Group Jamaica marketing team is the best ever, and there is no debate. I work with a team of people, and I'm friends. Many of them I know that we'll be friends until eternity, even though I don't work with them anymore. I spoke with one of them today. We may not work together anymore, but we are friends because we have a common goal. We have a common interest. Do your best all the time. Hold the hand of your team member. I'm confident because my team is relying on me to be so. I'm confident because the team that has gone ahead of me has been great. I'm confident because the team that is looking to me for leadership believes in me. I'm confident because my boss, as miserable as he can be sometimes, he's just like, you're fantastic. I was like, yes, sir, I am. You're right. Sure. Shoot. I'm confident because my mother will say to me, and my father too, you're spectacular. Yeah. And I'm confident also because I can look in the mirror and I can say, you've done your best. Yes. Keep going. Keep going. You've done your best. Keep going, which also inspired our latest campaign. We just decided just put some motivational messages all over the place. Mm-hmm. Just drop some motivation. That's Sagicor. Drop some motivation. Don't sell nothing. Don't sell no bank account. Don't sell no investment policy. Just, you're enough. Just, you're enough. We don't do that enough as a people, as a nation, I don't think.
Wow. Odine White says, enough is noble, unique, fierce, and fabulous. We should all strive to be enough. I remember when I was in high school, because I've been this height, I'm like 5'9", and I was 5'9" when I was like 12. Now you were tall, so yeah, I was like tall.
I wasn't tall in high school. My growth spurt happened at like 16,
the guys and everything. And I remember one of the boys who I saw recently should have tried with me.
Yes.
And it was like, you look like a giant. I was devastated.
Oh dear.
I went home and I told Mommy, I said, Mommy, he said I'm a giant. She's like, that's good. You should, I said, thanks. So me said, but he said, giant, how big? She's like, you are. You are larger than life. You are a giant.
Correct.
Yourself. So take up your giant space. Yeah. I saw him recently. Could have had me. Alysia, I'm just watching even the comments from Odine, and
is he filling up the chat?
I just feel like we're all Odine. Like we're all Odine.
Yeah. No, but the thing is that because Odine is like your hype man, but you are his hype woman. So
yes.
It's like it's hype for hype,
Oh yes. Actually, we should, like Junior Gong's flag men.
Yeah.
Give me a flag, Like Odine preached on Sunday. I was like, and he is like that with me. So he was calling me earlier on and he's saying, so what are you going to talk about? I said, I don't know. I don't know what the questions are tonight. But what are you going to talk about? I said, I don't know, babe. Then he starts to interview me as though he's you guys, just to make sure that I'm prepared. I will have you know his questions are completely different from yours.
I'm sure.
Completely
so you probably need to share those questions.
No, but it's so amazing how you guys are so supportive of each other. And I remember the first time I heard this concept of the ministry of wifedom and the ministry of motherhood. Yeah. And as a minister who is experiencing kingdom as a wife, as a mother, as a corporate executive, and people see you, they see this product that is so many things to so many other people. And like when you go home and you take off your shoes, Eden don't care. She don't care you're the vice president. She's like, you report to your work here.
Yeah.
What's balancing or unbalancing all of these kingdom roles?
You call the right name. Eden really doesn't care. She doesn't. She doesn't care at all. I don't, does she even know where I work? I don't even know. But I mean, my eldest child, who Amaris, who has been with me basically my whole life at Sagicor, she's been here. You know, everybody knows her. She's almost as tall as I am now. But that is a real struggle. And if I may be so vulnerable and transparent, there were days I was here too late. There were days had it not been for the man I married, there are other men who would have said, no, cut this crap. You cannot, you're not married to your job. There were days when I did too much, not because it was required of me, but the work is a lot. And as a perfectionist, or as somebody who is striving for excellence in everything that I do, you do get your priorities mixed up. That was me. Absolutely, unequivocally, it was one of my weaknesses. If I'm filling out a survey for Sagicor right now and they ask, do you balance work life, whatever, my team members used to have to do leadership, whatever, surveys on me. And that's one of the things that they used to say. I do not have work-life balance. I don't think they say it anymore. COVID changed the game for a lot of us. You realized over the last 2 years what really was important. I really could do some of the emails from my house. I really could have just gone to sleep. I really could have been hugging Eden, Nyla, Amaris. I really could have been having sex with my husband instead of being at Sagicor till midnight. One night I slept here because I had an event, and I swore that if I didn't sit right beside the editor, that it wouldn't be finished. That's not the case anymore. It's changed the game. So it's something that I have learned. It's not something that I always knew. It's something that I had to learn over time. And one thing, I've had many mentors in this life, and one of them, a good friend of mine, Janice Grantaff, she said to me, you will learn, and she's been in this corporate game for years, like decades. You will learn that in the end, what matters is what your children think of you. What do your girls think of you? Not what Sagicor thinks of you. Sagicor and I are in a love relationship. We love each other. When I leave Sagicor, and one day that will happen, it happens to everybody, whether by retirement or by moving on or whatever. When you leave Sagicor, you're leaving and you're still going home to your family. Are they going to accept you? Are they going to say, so
Look who's there.
Who are you again? Because I haven't seen you. Is that what's going to happen to you? Is that going to be your testimony? I'm telling you, the last 2 years changed everything for me. Everything. I would say 3 years. It changed everything. Not that my job wasn't good to me, but I was good to my job at the expense, many times, at the expense of my family. And now I'm learning to play catch up. And I think I'm learning at the right time, because my girls are at precarious ages. And they love me a lot more now. I did not think I could make it through that homeschooling, that online schooling period, when I was at home with them a lot. And I thought, I'm going to expel them from school because this can't be real life. No teacher should have to go through this. But we became so close as a result. So very shortly, somebody's going to call me on the phone and say, Mommy, where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Mommy? Because I'm at home with them a lot more than I was before now.
Wow. Kathy?
So we're all just sitting like here, like
Like, guys, you know it's 9 o'clock?
You know, when you watch TV, what you know?
So Odine asked Alysia what we were going to be talking to her about for an hour, and we're like, we need way more than an hour. So I don't know what's he asking.
He did.
It's 9 o'clock and we had like about
one whole hour.
about 10 more
With you
questions.
Right. I feel like we have like at least two more sheets of questions. So I don't know how that's going to work out.
Wow.
Okay, now you get one more question and I get one more question, and then we go to best advice.
All right.
Okay.
So my question is, you have been a brand long before we were even talking about personal branding. That's how you show up, how you present yourself, the things that you're known for. But how do you manage the brand that is Alysia? And what advice would you share with our emerging audience on managing their own personal brand?
So, brand Alysia, I don't think I put enough into it, as I've told Naomi. And I remember when Naomi was doing a session with my marketing team, and it was the systematic way. By the way, if you have not bought that book or if you have not done her course, do it. No joke. Do it, because it structures you in a way. It systematically helps you to understand exactly who you are. And whoever you are, whatever you do in life, whether you are an 18-year-old selling sweetie at school, or you are a major financial power player, or you're a teacher, you have a brand. Now, I've suffered from imposter syndrome a lot, right? So I never thought of myself as a brand necessarily. I've sat and I've admired, I've watched, I've seen people, and I've thought, wow, how cool, they have a brand. I never really thought of myself as that brand, that powerhouse. It's funny. I was talking to Andre today, and I was telling him that this year I'm going to spend some time and build my brand. And he said, your brand is built, love.
Right.
Your brand is built. What we need to do is spend more time and promote it, or actually do something with the brand.
Yes,
the brand is established. Now, realizing that was hard for me. And I encourage the fear that I had to recognize that I am a brand. That's something that you have to that's a hurdle that you have to overcome real quick. Because whether you know it, whether you like it or not, or choose to accept it, you are a brand. If you have one follower, just one, on any of your social media platforms, you're a brand. If you interact with one person on a daily basis, you are a brand. Where your expectations or their expectations and what you are outputting meet, that's your brand. Some people are encountering bitter lemon from you on a daily basis because that's what you're outputting.
That's your brand, bitter lemon. That's the bitter lemon lady.
Bitter lemon, you're just nasty, you're just sour every day, just a galangso. That's your brand. You have to, and you can develop and redevelop, reimagine who you are as a person. And I encourage all emergers, all of you, everybody, all of us, stay in touch with who you are as a person and what you output to the public and to your family. Nothing worse than when, like, I'm comfortable talking about who I am now because my brother, my sister, my parents, my husband, my children, if they watch, what they see is what they know at home. Very often that's not the case. Your brand is your brand is your brand. Who you are is who you are, regardless. And I encourage you as an emerger, if you, and first of all, realize that you are a brand. And number two, take steps, whether it's through journaling, whether it's through going through the PR Chick workbook. Take steps to document, write it down. Don't keep it in your head. Write it down. What you write and commit to paper becomes reality. So what you write down, commit to, what you journal, and you can also grow. if Sagicor were the same brand, I mean, in 2008, we were doing black and white imagery or black and white imagery of children only for all ads everywhere. If I was still doing that right now, I'd be fired. Evolve. Evolve as a brand.
Yes.
And announce yourself. And I remember when I cut my hair for the first time, and Norma said, I sent her a cell phone picture. She says, "No, darling, we need a photo shoot."
Yes.
Sagicor does not show up on the street side and then that's their new branch. No, there's a press release. You need to announce your new head.
Yes. I love it. That's how we love Dorina.
Yes, announce yourself as a brand. Let people know who you are. Don't hide under a bushel. Don't shrink. Don't shrink back, because the world is waiting on you. Somebody's waiting on you to reveal who you are to them so they can grow. That's what your brand is for.
Yes. So, Andre wants to know if this is the first of a 3-part series. And he's not asking for any friend. Him asking for himself. He made sure to be clear on that.
This is the precursor, the prelude.
Yes.
The introduction to when we have Alysia live on the Emerge
live on the Emerge stage.
Okay, you heard it here
so,
first.
Ali,
yeah,
we talked about all the different parts of your life, but one of the most major, and you've touched on it, throughout the entire conversation. But for the people that are watching that are on their journey, their faith journey, or the way that you and Odin live, and the way that you incorporate your faith in your life, and the way that you embrace it, and just the way that you showcase it, right? Is not normal. We don't see it showcased like that for people to be able to relate to it. The way that you love each other publicly, the way that you celebrate each other publicly, and the way that you just, showcase your faith in such a major way and incorporate it in every single thing that you do. How do you and show up in corporate and showcase it in corporate? How do you balance all of those things?
My faith is my life. So it's not so much about balance for me. It's about allowing my faith in God to lead where I am and lead what I do. And I would encourage you too, if you're a Christian, or if tell people, because they'll keep you accountable.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget when I was in high school and I made the dire error of telling somebody I was a Christian. And then I think it was in some mock exam. Somebody was asking me for an answer to a test in the actual exam room. And, you can get in big trouble for that. And although I had said to the person who was trying to whisper to me, what's the answer for number 8? It was number 8, but I didn't give her the answer, but somebody behind me heard the person asking, thought I gave her the answer, came out and said, "Think you say a Christian?" Now, people will hold you accountable because they have an expectation of God. And once you claim to be a child of God, or you claim, and this is true in your daily walk, this is true in your neighborhood, you, myself and Odin cannot be screaming at the top of our lungs curse words at each other, because these are the same people in my community who see us going in the car and going to church every Sunday morning. We have a reputation to uphold that we are children of God. So tell people. They will help to keep you accountable. You're not performing for them, but it helps you to position yourself as the public is watching God in your life. If it was just you alone, I promise you, many of us wouldn't care. You can think anything you want about me, but I don't want you to think that my God is a farce. I don't want you to think that this is some foolishness that we're doing. My husband is a pastor, and I am a pastor's wife. And that is hard.
Yeah.
That is hard. There are many days I want to curse. There are many days I think he does too much. And I just want to be like, yo, boss, this is why you don't trace the people? Why don't you just tell them, move up with yourself? Alysia, I can't do that. I'm a minister. So am I, by the way. I'm not a pastor, but I'm a minister. And there are days that you just want to just tell it, yo, go on, move. And I'm being real. It's not every day I can be Jesus Christ walking, testify. No, I can't do that. I'm a human being. But I recognize that whatever people, I am the only Jesus that many people will ever see.
Yes.
I am God. That I am the God. God in me is what is an example to many of my friends, many of my colleagues. And I fail a lot. I do. I really do. Sometimes there are days that I completely forget who I am in Christ. And I'm just like, yo, yesterday, my team members can tell you, I was in a meeting and I was so mad. I was so angry. Everybody sent me hug emojis and so on afterwards because I was so upset. But I recognize that I'm a human being, and I recognize that that's how God embraces me. He loves me for who I am, but he loves me enough not to let me stay where I am. So he wants me to come up higher. He wants me to calm down. He wants me to give and give and give. And that's how I've been able to maintain my relationship with God. I also know God for myself. I gave my life to the Lord when I was 12 years old. And there have been many starts and stops and recommitments along the way. And one thing I will say is I'm not judgmental. I have friends who are not Christians. I have friends who are gay. I have friends who are straight. I have friends who are atheists, and they're still my friends. I pray for them. I love them. I don't judge because we are all of us are created in God's image. And I believe that with my whole heart. We are on a journey. And I hate to see when we leave people by the wayside, or I strongly despise, especially when Christians take a higher road and say, I can't be your friend, or I was going to say something else, but the Holy Spirit said, stop. Mm-hmm. But let's just say this Christianity is not a lonely walk.
Yeah.
And what we're called to is to help people through this life. Not just help Christians, but help people.
Everybody.
People.
Everybody. Yep.
People first.
People first.
Alysia, as we get into the section that we call best advice, as I'm looking at you with your face properly beat, when I saw MUA first, we used to say, what is a MUA? How everybody I don't
Same, girl, same.
What is a MUA? But we see you show up, we see your light on. And we know that the light can't stay on all the time. Sometimes we have to plug in and we have to recharge. And we got to step a little back and stop. How do you pause and recharge? Do you pause and recharge?
Not a lot, not nearly enough. So I do need to rest. And it's something that I encourage people to do. My mother and father were here for the holidays. I made the dire error of one day lying down in my bed for the whole day. My mother thought I should go to the doctor. Because what are you doing? What are you doing? Sleeping? What is that? What are you doing? And so I thought, I realized that you need to rest, and you need to let people see that you are resting, and give people a boundary too of rest. My life is very open. My husband and I, our home has been open for a long time to a lot of people. I remember one time I had to send out a WhatsApp note to tell people, if you're coming, please call. Let us know that you're coming. When you come, please don't go upstairs, because now my daughter's going through puberty. She'll walk around and I don't want you to see her in all her glory. So you're gonna have to call. You're gonna, things have changed at our house. And I was so nervous to send it out because I didn't want people to feel away. I didn't want them to feel bad. But you do need to step away.
Yeah.
You do need to step back. People just can't have access to you. And I'm preaching to myself. People can't have access to you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You need to sleep. You need to rest. And you need to turn your mind off. One of the ways you do that is write down what you need to do the next day. Keep a book beside your bed. Write down what you need to do the next day. Put it in your phone if you're a techie and you have bad handwriting and you didn't go to Mona Prep. Put it in Kathy, you know what I mean.
Rochelle also went to Mona Prep, but
Did you rush?
She's not a good example.
It is horrendous.
I don't know what happened. I don't know. I couldn't do
She never used a double line. She must have never used a double line.
Mrs. Lee would never make that happen to me.
She never get a double line.
Sorry, what was that Mona Prep comment? Did you say St. Peter and Paul Preparatory? Is that what you actually said?
No, don't let me take you off the screen.
Is that what you thought you said?
Let me. We're not going to start our arguments. Let me just take her off.
Can you take me off the screen?
I mean, seriously, now, what you thought you were going to accomplish with that comment?
If you're techie, put it in your phone. If you write well, if you went to Mona Prep or St. Peter and Paul, whatever it is, put it in your phone. Put it in your phone. Right, leave it.
Oh, they can't gang me up on this show.
Yeah. No, I mean,
just remove you.
what I started doing is I will sometimes just record myself in the night, just all the things that I'm thinking of, and I record myself. But writing on that paper to release, because let me tell you something though, Alysia. You know, when God set you up, God set me up tonight. Because when I tell you, it's like some things where he trying to send me some messaging, he send them clearly. You see all the rest part. Yeah.
But she don't know what that is.
Rest. I don't. But you know that tonight, just watching Alysia, hearing her speak, stopping and pausing to pay attention to every word that she's saying, I could hear the Lord speaking to me. So Alysia, you have been a vessel tonight, just pouring and pouring and pouring. And you know, as we go into best advice though, you know, I said just for us to stop for a moment and just to ask God's covering over you, over every single solitary area of your life. And that right now, from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet, that whole angels are surrounding you. And every word that you have uttered has been blessed and will come back at you tenfold with just blessings and more blessings. But we're just covering everything that you've said tonight. Wow. God is good.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Yes, he is.
I saw Michelle and said, phone, I can't understand my own handwriting. And as she said that, I looked down at this piece of paper with some notes I took today, right? I don't know how I'm going to transcribe this tomorrow into my laptop, you know, but these are my notes. It's just for me. Obviously.
All right.
Copy from me, that's for sure.
So, Ali,
yeah.
you know, so this segment, we're going to ask you the best advice that you've either received or that you would like to give on a particular topic. So the first one, best advice about money.
Oh, Lord, it's not over. It's not over. I used to manage money terribly. In fact, I'm still not excellent at it. I'm not very good. Get help. My sister, Tricia, she is amazing at managing my money. So she will constantly call me. She'll give me advice. And she'll also, whenever I feel like I'm drowning in some kind of, no, my God, she's like, relax. What you're going to do is, and you're going to put this on this investment, and you're going to do this on this. Coming to Sagicor, I realized that financial literacy is critical. for young people coming from high school,
Prep school.
prep school. You don't know how to manage your money. You feel like the money that you have is all that you're going to have forever, and you can only work $5, you budget $4, and then you have $1 left for savings. That's not how it works. It does not have to be like that. Yes, you have to save, but you also have to invest.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to make sure that you don't treat money as though it's some grenade that's going to go off. It's going to blow up in your face if you don't manage it properly. It's going to be a disaster. Jamaica, we've trained our children a lot to feel like money is it's a disaster. It's going to send you to prison. No, that's not it at all. There is help. Be careful where you get the help from, but there is help. There's advice. Invest. And even if it's $500, do it every month. Not just save, but invest in something that you can't touch. And if you need to touch it, it's like like more drama than regular banking. Like you just can't bother take it out. You just have to left it. Like my husband is Mr. CD, like him. I need to put it on a CD. I need to put it on fixed deposit. And I said, lad, master.
Whatever, man.
You need to put it somewhere you can't touch it. Okay.
All right. Best advice about relationships.
So I have had relationships with males. Significant others. I have had relationships with, like, I've had ex-boyfriends in who I'm still friends with today. It is important that you recognize that two people come to a table. Two different people come to a table. And when you enter into a relationship, you're entering as a whole person, and that person prayerfully, hopefully, is entering as a whole person as well. And when the two of you come together, you're coming together as one person, one whole person, another whole person coming together, one person. It's not two halves. You're not incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
When you come and you need to be, I need someone to complete me. That is utter garbage. It's such garbage. And also another piece of advice. Okay, so I don't care if you're 60 years old. If your desire is to be in a relationship, you're not old. A lot of us have put time limits on ourselves that, if you're 25 and you don't have a man or a woman, it's the end of the road. And if I'm 36, I might as well just date around and sleep around because it's just not going to happen for me. That is not true. If your desire is to be in a relationship, then remember, you have to be a whole person. Also, if you don't desire to be in a relationship, for God's sake, leave people and pick me alone. If you can't commit, don't do it. It's not for everybody. Yeah. It isn't.
Yeah.
People have picked me alone.
Especially mine. Let me do the spice.
You have the face. You just have to be a little closer to the camera. Just a little closer to the camera.
Yay! There you go.
I love me some Grace. And her name is, anyway, remember, done.
Please.
Best advice about love.
Oh, wow. Best advice.
Either that you've been given or that you would want to give.
Best advice is from my mother. Love is a decision. It's not something you fall into. You decide to love someone. There are people who have had children who they do not love. It's not automatic. Mm-hmm. Love is a decision. It's an action. It's a verb. It also cannot pay for anything at the supermarket. So when you're falling in love, remember that is not something that you can go to the lady at La Chousan and say, I'm going to pay with love today. That's not going to happen. It is a decision that you have to make, that through thick or thin, you are going to love this person regardless. And this is not just husband and wife. This is not just friends. This is not just children. This is people that you interact with on a daily basis. We throw that word around a lot. We do. Have you decided, though, to love somebody? Have you decided? Like my team members, love you guys. But sometimes I do want to strangle some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, they want to strangle me. I'm sure. I mean, I'm not easy to deal with all the time. But they've decided to love me regardless. It is a decision.
Wow.
Best advice about grieving or grief?
Absolutely comes from my best friend, Danielle Carr. There is no time limit on your grief. Do not let people feel, she calls it lament. And she started something called the Ministry of Lament. There are scriptures in the Bible that speak of lamenting over weeks and months and years. There is no time limit on your grief, and don't let people put you in a box. You should be over this by now. You should have gotten over this. You should have stopped crying by now. No, you process your grief. There are stages to it. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know what those stages are, but I know one of them must be anger.
Yes.
There's one of them is absolute terror and just trepidation of moving forward in life. There are stages, and you might go through those stages multiple times, but there's no time limit on how you grieve as a person.
Amen.
Yeah.
Last question.
What advice would you give your 21-year-old self?
Even though you're not married now, it will be okay. So I thought that when I went in 2000, I'm 41 now, and in 2000 I thought the world is not going to move beyond 2000, the year 2000, because I mean,
remember?
You remember?
Like it's
binary business and so the zeros and the ones, and we didn't know if we were going to have light on January 1, 2000.
We didn't hear about COVID then.
What was it called? Y2K?
Yes.
Y2K.
Yes.
And all the banks were going to shut down.
The world was going to end.
The world was going to end.
And if I'm not married, I never will be. What do you?
I love 41 is the new 21. That's awesome.
But just because whatever a lot of what we do, a lot of what we say, we speak over our lives is, if you don't do this by this time, then this is not going to happen. We have become fortune tellers, reading globes and reading tea tree and palms, and we're reading amiss. You're not prophesying. You're a false prophet over your own life.
Yes.
You are a false prophet over your own life. I would tell my 21-year-old self, relax.
Relax.
Until the day, Alvin Day says this, until the day you die, nothing you go through can kill you. Nothing. Until the day you die, nothing you go through can possibly kill you. It will be okay. You put time limit on yourself. You've spoken negative words about yourself. You've done all kinds of things. Nothing else is going to happen beyond 21. No, that's not true. It will be okay.
It will be okay. Thank you, Joan. Highlight Joan comment. Joan comment.
Me know, man. Don't worry, Russia. I have it for you.
Yes, Joan.
Thank you, Joan. So, Alysia, though, before we go, you are 41 years old. Odine says that is the new 21, and I agree because I've been 21 for so many times, girl. At this stage in your life, today, just this moment right now, if you were to give yourself an award, what would it be?
Ooh. Alysia, I give you the award for perseverance.
Ooh, I like that.
I give you the award for perseverance. There are many times you could have given up, and you have persevered. Yeah. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I need a trophy.
You need a trophy.
But he didn't get that.
Wow, girls. Wow, emergers.
Look
Wow.
at that. We made it. It's 9:30.
Mhm.
So, Mr. White, what you're saying about what we're gonna talk about?
About how we're going to talk to her for how could we talk to her for a whole hour?
Right?
We're going to talk about lots of things and lots
He
to talk
actually
about.
he actually said, who are the other guests on the show?
How dare he?
No. Listen,
Wow.
we're
But
gonna
Alysia,
refrain. We're gonna refrain.
This has been beyond amazing. Brandon said holistic. That's what he said earlier. His comment has gone so far now. The interview was so holistic. That's what he said. And that's how I feel. I mean, we started off on a high and then we had some very serious things to talk about. But you're such an inspiration, Alysia. And I really hope that you know that. I know you said you're still working on your brand, but I'm glad you've acknowledged that you already have an amazing one. And I really hope that you can see past this imposter syndrome and really just step into the full power of Alysia Moulton-White.
Thank you.
Because you are a phenomenal woman.
Thank you so much. I'm
As
so
your
blessed to be
husband
in your
said,
presence.
you're a walking trophy.
Walking trophy.
That's because I don't want to buy the crystal one. That I demand.
You came from the flagman, Junagang flagman. So, ladies, I mean,
wait, sorry. Brandon says, "Emerge. I'm selling this interview." That's what he said.
And you know, so Brandon is a financial advisor. So you know,
excuse me,
excellence.
Brandon, can you type the name of your new place of work?
Just highlight it.
The actual name of it. I saw him post today.
Insurance
He's the insurance suite.
Yeah.
Y'all need to check out the insurance suite.
Yeah. But ladies, we have to give
Brandon is a powerhouse, and he hasn't even begun to touch the surface.
Touch the surface. And you also mentioned though Daniel Carr's lament. I have been following, and it's a very important page to follow because we do not recognize what grief is, and that there's so many elements of what we're grieving about. Powerful. But tonight we have to give you the proper flagman from Junagang. You know, he goes up.
The strong flag.
Thank you.
Alysia, your parents done real good, girl.
Yes.
Husband chose a great wife. He's a blessed man, and your children shall walk and talk and call you blessed.
Thank you, Rush. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you,
here's
guys.
Daniel's.
I know this is Alicia's show, right? But someone said, Odine says, Brandon is a whole brand. That's why his name is Brand On.
Boo.
Oh,
Brandon got a penny for that.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
It was really a pleasure. Guys, if you want to rewatch this episode, it's going to go up like immediately after this is finished. So if you came on late or if you want to share it with a friend, family member, the entire Sagicor team, you can just like, subscribe, follow, share, and please leave a comment about this awesome episode tonight.
And any gift that you forgot to give, or Valentine's is coming up, just send a quick WhatsApp note and say, I know I forgot your Christmas gift at Christmas, but I have a better gift for you. Click
That's
on
right.
the interview.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Click on the interview. Yes, send the interview as a gift.
Yeah. I love
Well,
that.
thank you everybody for joining us. We will see you again next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. You can follow us on all of our platforms at Ready to Emerge. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and follow us. We have a workshop coming up, so stay tuned for those details. And we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.